We usually have like a funny thing. We don't have anything.
We're not funny. We are not, nor have we ever been funny. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Alec and Wyatt Weekly. I'm Alec McChesney.
And I'm Wyatt Wheeler.
We have a heck of a show for you today, but unfortunately, we're going to have to start it off with some not so fun news. You know, that's not typically what we like to do on this show, but unfortunately, some dark days are ahead at Missouri State. What's going on?
Well, Kyle Motes announced today that field hockey has been eliminated at Missouri State. There will no more field hockey. It's just, and then they will add beach volleyball in its place. They're going to save a lot of money by doing so, but you don't like to see athletes, a big team of athletes who have grown close together, really separated because of unfortunate situations.
Obviously, there were a few teams up for debate on whether or not they would be the ones cut, and so there was a lot of teams and players on edge and the whole sporting community at Missouri State. So you went to the press conference today. What was the vibe? What was the feel like within the field hockey community?
It was just really sad because they all came in unison. They all just came in Missouri State field hockey sweatshirts.
Right.
So they knew because they actually had a 7:00 meeting before the noon press conference. So they knew when they showed up. So they just watched it be announced, and even though they knew, there were still tears falling in the rows at the press conference.
Yeah, the good news is that if you were an athlete on the field hockey team, you still get to keep your scholarship for the remainder of your time at Missouri State. And if you wanted to transfer, you wouldn't have to sit out that year that you typically would as a transfer. So that, I mean, it's a silver lining, a small one, but it's something that Missouri State didn't necessarily have to do, but something that was nice of them to do. But
it's a tough situation. You want to be like, oh, this makes sense, but you still think of the 17 girls who came here for a reason, and that reason was just taken away from them.
Right. Well, we can move on from a tough topic to talk about a good one. The St. Louis Cardinals came to Springfield on Friday night to play Springfield Cardinals, and we got to go. We got to talk to Mike Matheny, Dexter Fowler, some of those Cardinals guys. I know that was a big moment for you because Fowler was a Cub. What was that like for you?
Well, it just reminded me of the time when he led off Game 7 of the World Series with a home run. And then they went on to win the World Series. But you know what? It was cool, even as a Cubs fan.
Right.
It was to see the guys that you've been watching, like rivals, Yadier Molina, especially with him, with all the contract rumors going on, and he ends up signing the contract a couple days later.
Right.
But it was really cool. What do you think of it?
I mean, I think it was even cooler for the people of Springfield. Mm-hmm. They're obviously, for the most part, Cardinals fans. They're kind of Chiefs fans when it comes to football just because there's not, but since the Springfield Cardinals are here, it's really cool to see Molina come, to see Carlos Martinez just in the uniform, Adam Wainwright, these guys, even though they didn't pitch, they were there. It was just a really fun experience all around. Those are guys that we've been watching since we were 5-6 years old. So
it was cool to see that Hammond's packed.
Yeah.
And some of it kind of carried over to the next game.
Which, by the way, a future MLB baseball player won the game on Friday night. Mm-hmm. Tell him what Jake Berger did on Friday night.
Well, he won the game. He decided to hit the ball out of the park in the bottom of the 11th and walk-off home run. And it was nice to see, especially he had an error earlier in the game, which ended up tying the game up when it looked like they would have gotten out of the inning with a one-run lead.
Right.
But he had the error, went past, tied the ball game, but he stepped up when like a really good player does, and that's why we keep talking about him every week because he's probably a first rounder.
And the big thing for the Bears was that was their first game in the Missouri Valley Conference. We talk about it all the time here, how last year they struggled in Missouri Valley, but this year, not only did they get off to a good start with the comeback win, but they go on to win and sweep the whole series against Bradley. What went right Saturday and Sunday?
Pretty much everything. They win 13-3 in 7 innings on Saturday. Then they go win 9-2 on Sunday. Right. And it was just a complete performance by everybody. You had Jeremy Ironman tearing it up like usual, as like we've come to say it like usual now.
Right.
His defense has really stepped up from a year ago, which he might. That left side of the infield, you've said it in the past episode, but that's the best left side of the infield in baseball.
Yeah.
30 left side.
Yeah. He's talking about the best duo on the left side, but I'm going to talk about the best duo on the volleyball court. I know you guys at home are thinking, Lily Johnson and Emily Butters, but no. I'm talking Alec and Wyatt Weekly.
We got you there.
Yeah. So on Wednesday, we
are probably gonna die. I mean,
we are going to play Lily and Emily in a game. Maybe best 2 out of 3 if we make it that far. If they make it that far. If they make it that far. In a game of volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
We want the USA action. We want Missouri State's top players. But I'm just going to be honest, Lily, because I know you're watching. You're talking trash on Twitter. That's fine. We're doing our scouting too. We've got game film. We're watching.
We've got more film on them
than they have on us. I haven't played volleyball since the 8th grade.
I won a championship the last time I played.
In preschool?
Not preschool. It was high school. Team PE.
No.
Team PE.
Okay, were you a senior? You were playing freshman?
No. I was playing other seniors, maybe some juniors.
Listen, I'm not going to discredit Lily Johnson and Emily Butters because they're obviously incredible.
But they shouldn't discredit us.
Yes, exactly.
Because we are
good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, because we've got it. We've got that it factor. You can see it here.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what, I'm going to be honest, there's at least a 55% chance that we don't have a show next week because Lily or Emily ends our live.
They might make us sign waiver forms just in case one of us gets injured. And most likely, he's going to get injured.
Well, most likely I'm going to turn ACL and he's going to have a bloody nose.
Yep.
But if that doesn't happen, we will be back next week, same time as always. It's another episode of Alec and Wyatt Weekly. I'm Alec McChesney.
I'm Wyatt Wheeler.
Have a great night.
Yes.